Hey LugNuts and Future LugNuts. This is a very quick review on the Lug Tervis cups. I'm not going to make this very long because I know that the Tervis cups have been around for a long time and they're not an exclusive product to Lug, but I know that since Lug does carry them and they're actually pretty cheap this week on LugLife, and they've been offering lots of great deals on LugLife, I thought if anyone was still on the fence or actually just wanted to know what these were like, just thought I'd give you a little quick review, I guess, of what I have found using this cup over the past couple of weeks. So the one that you see here is the Stars and Shells that came exclusively in the summer 2021 Lug box. So you're not going to be able to get this on the website or on LugLife. You are only going to be able to get this if you're able to purchase it off someone else who got the box who doesn't want their cup. Anyway, and also if you're noticing there's a straw in here, that's mine. I happen to have a straw that perfectly matches the cup, and I bought, I think it was just one of those things that you find at Winners, or I guess the American equivalent is I think Marshalls or TJX. Just as you're checking out and you see all this stuff, and lo and behold, there's something that you kind of want, and it's not crazy expensive. So I picked up about a pack of 5 of them, and one of them happens to perfectly look wicked in this cup. Anyway, so first of all, the lid itself fits really well. It definitely fits and is airtight and waterproof. So when you tip it upside down, or if you jostle it around, water does not leak through the actual lid, and by that I mean basically around here, all around there. That's a pretty good seal. However, the tab on the top, there's a little slidey tab. I'm just going to get rid of the straw so you can see what I'm talking about. There's a little slidey tab at the top that slides closed and opened, and that's the actual opening. That's the only opening here. So when you close that, that part there is not leak proof. There's absolutely nothing there to keep it from leaking out. So what I thought I'd show you really quickly is actually how much water comes out. So I have a bowl here, and so I filled it with water. It's just water. I was trying to find something that had a color so you could see how much leaked out, but I don't drink pop and I don't own anything with color. So I just thought I'd just use water. So there's a bowl, empty bowl, totally dry and totally clean. This is my lug. So I have closed the lid, and that's as tight as I can get it. So a little bit of water in there, not a lot, but I'm just going to show you what happens. So this is what happens when I just tip it sideways. So if you have that on a table and it just tips over, you're good. It's not going to leak. So if it sits sideways, if it's sitting on a counter, or if it's maybe in your bag, you might be safe. However, this is what happens when I tip it upside down. So if you see, there's actual water that does dribble out of it, and I found that if I kept it tipped upside down, it didn't leak as bad, but it does slow drip, if you can see that there. So if I just hold it upside down, you'll see a little drip there. Hopefully you can see it against the background. So it is not completely leak proof, at least not the top. Not the little tabby thing at the top. There's nothing leak proof about it, but the lid itself is. So if I tipped it on its side and kept it there, okay, you'll see a drip there because it's from the opening. But if you tip it on its side, it won't leak. But if you tip it this way, so if your bottle happens to get upside down, or if it's on a slight angle, it's going to leak. So that's unfortunate. The other thing that some people were wondering about, or at least I was wondering about, was how cold this actually keeps beverages. So I don't know if you can see how much water. Not a ton, but it's certainly enough that if you've got that inside your bag, you're not gonna really want that in your bag. And certainly if you have a sugared beverage or a staining beverage, if you have a coffee or a tea or a pop, you're going to have a really ugly interior of your bag, or it's going to be sticky and really hard to clean. So as far as keeping drinks cold, I still haven't done the hot because I don't like putting hot things in plastic. But if you are wondering how cold this kept, this week I actually went on a bit of a car ride. It was pretty hot outside, not crazy hot. It was around, I don't know, 26 degrees Celsius outside of the car. I had this on the door cup holder on the inside down below, so it was out of the sun. It was below where the air conditioning was, so it wasn't getting any hot, but it wasn't getting any cold air on it either. I filled this cup with iced tea when I left the house, and within about an hour and a half, it basically went back to being room temperature. So it kept it cold nicely for a little while, but it really didn't keep it cold long enough for me to really feel like I was really enjoying a lovely cold beverage for the rest of the day. So it really didn't work as far as insulating this from changing temperature. So if you really want to keep something really cold for a long period of time, I would suggest any of the Chuggies or just an insulated beverage cup of any kind. This is not going to be it. This keeps it definitely colder than if you just had a regular glass sitting out or just a plastic cup, because it is double lined. So you can see on the side there, if you look inside, there's the layer where the print is, and then there's another layer just a few millimeters away from it on the outside. So it's a double layered cup, which means the beverage sits inside, and then there's a whole other layer. There's like I said, a few millimeter distance away from the actual beverage to the cup that you're holding. So when the heat hits the outside of the cup, or you're holding the outside of the cup with your body temperature holding onto the cup, the interior of the cup, or the beverage rather, will stay cooler longer. And I guess same thing if you've got a hot beverage in there, you're not going to burn your hand when you grab it, because it's not the beverage sitting on the actual surface of the cup that you're holding. So it is going to keep it cold. It's just not going to keep it cold very long. So you were planning on drinking your beverage in 3 hours. It's probably not going to last that long. It might, depending on conditions and how cold the beverage was or how thick it is. So if you're carrying a shake, it might last longer. But if you're just carrying, like I said, iced tea or water, it's not going to cut it. Better off getting a Chuggy. The other thing I was going to say, because like I said, this straw was not meant for this cup, but I was able to get it in. But I was kind of hoping, I know that there are some cups where the entire, I guess, circle around the straw is sort of sealed around it. And so there's very little space for liquids to come out if it does tip. This is not one of those cups. So when I take the straw out, it's big enough for sipping, and there just happens to be a little, I guess, sort of hole, like a little round bit, so that you can also insert a straw. And this is a pretty thick straw. It does actually hold a bigger straw than I expected. This is actually quite big. It's probably around 1 centimeter in diameter. It's not one of those thin straws. The hole looks a little smaller than that, but as it turns out, it actually fit the fat straw, which I was quite surprised by. So it's not... yeah, it's not gonna, if you can see there's still space on the side for water to drip out. So what I would recommend this cup to be for is if you're just carrying a beverage to the car and you just want to sip as you go, so either your tea, your coffee, or a nice cold drink that you want to sip between home and work, or home and whatever destination you're going to, it's perfect for that. But if you wanted to keep this really cold, so you had a really cold drink for the rest of the day, it's not great for that. The other thing you could also do is have these on a patio. This would be great for a patio. So if you're all sitting out having a barbecue or a party outside, if everyone has one of these cups that they're sipping out of, it's going to keep, so if someone happens to be drunk and knocks it over, or you've got kids running around and they knock over the beverage, you're really not going to lose a lot of beverage. You're not going to be running around trying to clean anything up, because it's probably not going to, you're not going to lose anything, especially if you close that tab. The other thing is it'll keep the bugs out. So if you happen to be drinking sweet beverages or a beer, anything that's going to attract bugs, you keep that closed, you're very likely to keep all the bugs out. It may not keep out the ants. They'll probably find a way in, because it is, it's small enough that, that they're small enough they might be able to crack through there if you don't close that all the way really tightly. But, the wasps and all those things, the big guys that you really don't want to see in there, that will definitely do the trick. So I hope that helps you decide a little bit whether this is the right cup for you. And if you have any questions, leave me a message down below. And yeah, if you could click like and subscribe to help me basically fund my lug addiction, that would be much appreciated. Anyways, hope that was helpful. Have a good one, folks, and I'll see you around next time.